morning, Campers. Let's do a reading. I'm feeling guided today to do a reading for masculine collective. I feel like our masculines are going through some sort of a shift right now. So it's going to depend on where you are on your journey. It can mean that you are going through some sort of a, coming into awareness, or perhaps some already coming into their satori. I'm hearing turmoil as well. So maybe Spirit is trying to shake you to get out of certain patterns, get out of certain vicious cycles, let go of certain things that you've been holding on to. So let's do a reading for our masculines. Let's start from checking in where you are and what's going on, how you're feeling, and then we're gonna do a little guidance. What's going on with this collective of masculines? What's going on? Fear of commitment. Number 7. That's your first card. I'm hearing you revisiting this. I'm hearing all of our beautiful masculines have fear of commitment. They don't realize that they have fear of commitment. They think that they are these bravado, independent, lone wolves. And in reality, as I always say to you guys, it's big, fat shadow, fear of commitment. I want to read through this to you and then we'll talk. A fear of commitment and avoidance both originate from the same source. Relationships that brought us pain, betrayal, control, lack of emotional safety, and heartbreak. Those can be relationships with our parents, family members, partners, or friends. If you fear being rejected or losing freedom in a relationship, this fear is rooted in lack of trust towards yourself. No one can really take away your freedom if you don't allow them. Through strong self-love and healthy boundaries, no one can really reject you if you fully accept yourself first. This card is inviting you to commit fully to your authentic self and your truths and start trusting your own choices. I'm hearing that you would be having realizations about fear of commitment. I talk about this to you guys all the time. The shadows that we have, we're not aware of these shadows. Patterns and shadows are subconscious. People who are avoidant don't know that are avoidant. People who are anxious attachment style, they don't know this. It's the moment of awakening. It's the moment of healing as we start to realize, damn, I have been repeating these patterns, right? We just think that this is who we are, that this is how we're supposed to act. So I'm hearing that you would be having realizations that you do fear commitment, fear of love as well, I'm hearing. So you're starting to really analyze, and there's something that it's sticking out to me, this freedom, losing your freedom in a relationship. But I always say this again to you guys, when we fear that we're gonna lose freedom in a relationship, it usually comes from past experience, that we were controlled, we were chained, we were forced to do things or even think things that we didn't want to do. But it always comes from a lack of trust towards ourselves. If you have strong self-love, if you have strong boundaries, if you know that I love myself enough, that I will not allow anyone to chain me, no one can chain me, you don't have to avoid commitment. And fear of commitment, oftentimes, number 7, I'm really looking at this number 7, maybe month of July has some sort of a significance. I'm hearing maybe that's the last time you've seen your feminine. It just came to my mind, maybe detailed to some of you. Not necessarily this year, but you know what I mean. You really, when you're afraid of commitment, it's because you're not truly committed to yourself. And this card explained this, and it's very true. When you are committed to yourself, my own truth, who I am, I love myself, you will never allow anyone to interfere with that, to change that. And I always say this again, it's this moment when you say, I am who I am, you can accept it or not, but not, again, everything has a shadow side and a side of light. There are people who are very unhealed, very bathe in their shadows, and they're like, I am who I am, you accept it or whatever, and in this process they're being like the biggest assholes. But sometimes when we heal, when we start to love ourselves, it's just, I know who I am. I know my truth. So with love and light, if you are not in line with this, we cannot be together. But I'm not afraid to commit. People who choose solitude on a path of spirituality, it's not because they fear commitment, it's because they won't accept anything below true soul connection. Long deviation with very first card, but I feel you would be contemplating on commitment right now. I feel like you, maybe it's one of your biggest shadows. Maybe you're realizing that it's always been one of your biggest shadows. I'm hearing that you would be thinking that you want to commit to your feminine, but it's maybe you're afraid that the moment you reach out, sometimes we feel like everything is okay, but the moment we reconnect, certain shadows, you know, in external environment, they brought again to the surface. So maybe you're asking yourself, have I truly healed this? Let's see what else. What else is in your energy? Casanova! I'm sorry. Number 24. 24th of the 7th, I just heard. Maybe you have a little Casanova. Maybe this is your energy. Maybe this is your vibe. I'm hearing you realizing that the Casanova thing comes from fear of commitment. I want to read through this. This card is asking you to examine your approach towards romantic relationships. Are you being respectful? Are you being vulnerable? Are you treating the other person with compassion and respect? When you engage in romantic relationships, what is your motivation? Is it to find someone who will really hold and understand your heart? Or perhaps is it for the conquest and the thrill, hoping it would temporarily fill the void within? Examine your behaviors. True divine masculine is the forever protector of the feminine heart, not just your divine feminine, but overall the feminine. He acts with respect and reverence for love. Remember, if your heart desires true love, you will never find it in shallow relationships. I'm seeing, they're showing me the situation when you've been really, maybe in your young age, maybe even there's some patterns in your childhood that you've been really hurt. Your heart was hurt. I feel like this collective, you might be quite sensitive, right? So it's like you locked your heart. It happens to many masculines. You locked your heart, right? But we always have this need for even breadcrumbs of love. So maybe you've become, it's really many masculines, you have lack mentality, lack of self-esteem. So you find validation in that Casanova behavior. You're very flirtatious, flirt with all women wherever you go. Maybe you go to a class, you go to work, you're in a store, you're constantly flirtatious because knowing that you have options and so many women are interested. It's sort of a boost to your ego, but in reality they both come together. Out of fear of commitment, this behavior comes through. Just saying. Let's do a few more. I am the problem. I am the problem, but this is confirmation. You're starting number 13. You're starting to reflect. I want one more for your first row. We're going to do another row as well. I have this need to go like a little bit more slower and explain things, go in depth. So you would be in this energy. You would really be like, hold on. Got it. Analyzing everything, which is good. We always say this, self-reflection is the start to start healing. You have to reflect. You have to start to understand, I was the problem. I was choosing this. I was repeating patterns. I had woundings that was subconsciously causing these behaviors within me, right? So what do we have? What kind of love do I desire? This one is very beautiful. I have to read through this one. Number 59. Through pain, disappointment, and heartbreak, you convince yourself Oh my God, that is the summary of your life. I'm telling you, listen carefully. Through pain, disappointment, and heartbreak, you convince yourself that true love wasn't real. People just can't be pure, faithful, loyal, and sweet. It was easier to believe that it didn't exist than to think it was out of reach for you. The truth is, if this frequency exists within you, if in your heart you desire love, cherish, respect, and celebrate another, it must exist outside of you as well. Contemplate on what is the love that you truly desire. Don't limit yourself. The concept of too good to be true doesn't exist. Remember, if you have it in you to give, there is someone for you to reciprocate. Whatever kind of love you desire, it is out there seeking for you too. And it's everything that's been coming to my mind and I've been trying to explain to you. When we're disappointed, the mistake that people make is, instead of understanding, okay, maybe I just chose to be with someone and they don't deserve my love and my attention, they start to blame love. They start to blame romantical relationships. They lock their heart. They start to fear commitment because they think commitment is liability, because they don't have self-trust and self-love to say no to people who are mistreating them. So they move into this Casanova flakiness to only temporarily like boost their egos and seek for attention. But in reality, deep down, they crave love, but they think that love is not possible. It's just fairy tales. It's just Disney story, but it is. And I always say this to you guys. It's funny, I posted this on my Instagram recently. Why we believe in love? Why I believe in love? Because I am love. I am love. If I feel it through my heart to every cell of my body that I love someone, that I would do anything for this person, and this love goes beyond timelines and lifetimes and it transcends anything, how could it not exist? We're not this anomaly in the universe if we can feel it. So if you can feel it, and I was hearing, it's really beautiful. I'm getting gooey, okay? But I was hearing that just connect to your feminine. Think of her. If the love you have for her exists, she'll be able to return it 10 times fold to you. My brother, we are the essence of love. We are embodiment of unconditional love. What kind of love do you desire? In order to get into union with your feminine, you really have to believe it. This is the love that I desire. Wake up every day, make breakfast together, go for hikes together, watch movies, whatever it is that you want to do. Envision it, feel it, be it. Yes, it's possible. And then say to yourself, I was the problem this whole time. I'm seeing there's a card in this deck. We're going to see if it comes through, that there is no glass wall. There's a moment in the journey of the masculine that you realize that all this thing that you were saying to yourself, love doesn't exist, it's impossible, it's just a myth, it's a fairy tale, I'm imagining things, this woman would never accept me, she's so beyond my reach. It was a glass wall made of your shadows. Okay, it doesn't exist. I'm liking this energy. Your first row, fear of commitment, Casanova, but then you have I am the problem. So you would be really thinking about your behavior. You would right now be really contemplating on the root cause of your fear of commitment. Do you still fear that commitment? Have you healed that? And your previous years, I'm hearing, of Casanova behavior. Let's see, fear of commitments. Develop mindfulness. Develop mindfulness. Beautiful. 56. We have this card many times for masculines recently, but developing mindfulness, just as I mentioned to you in the beginning, it's sort of a necessity when we do healing. You have to be mindful, and I feel like you are developing mindfulness. So everything that you do, I feel like you have this. I don't know why I'm seeing. But it's like you've become an observer of your life. So maybe you've noticed that normally you acted on like autopilot. You talk to your friends, it's like, yeah, let's go out, let's do this, You would participate in conversations without even thinking, am I interested in this topic? Am I really want to be in this room? And now it's like you're really becoming the observer. And when you're triggered, when you're about to do something, you're really starting to think, why? Why am I thinking that way? Why? And sometimes, I love this technique, but our own mind is our biggest enemy on this journey, right? We believe in our heart, we feel it. Our soul feels that this is my person, this is the lifetime, this is my destiny. And then the mind goes like, blah, 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 right? But when you realize that, when you have that mindfulness, truly, all you need to do, give it a try, is just to say literally, shut up. I know this is a limiting belief. I know this is an outdated thinking. Go fuck away. No. I know what I believe in. And the more you do this, the more it will become, silent. Casanova. Why so stubborn? Number 35. Why so stubborn? I want to read this through you because this card talks about where stubbornness comes from. I feel like you may be a stubborn person. I feel you may be someone that it is your shadow. Stubbornness is shadow. So listen to this and really contemplate. Stubbornness is not an indication of strength of character or firmness of your opinions. It's a big fat shadow, and it's time to recognize it. If you pull this card, your guides invite you to contemplate on it. Perhaps you have developed fear of vulnerability as consequence of past betrayal. Full of fear of vulnerability can really cause that stubbornness. Our need of control to protect yourself from being influenced, or need of control to protect yourself from being influenced and manipulated. That goes back to that fear of commitment. I feel this collective, you have history of being connected to women or people in general that wanted to control you and wanted to manipulate you. And when we have that, we really become stubborn. We don't even consider other person's opinion because we think that the moment someone disagrees with us, especially if you have feelings for this person, the moment someone disagrees with us, our shadow tells us that they want to control us. So we become stubborn. Even if ourselves, we don't believe what we're saying and we really agree with them, but it's the stubbornness, it's a shadow. Fear of failure or need for validation can be another root cause. That need for validation with the Casanova came through. So I feel like those can be your shadows. Need for validation and fear of being influenced, manipulated, control. Work on the quality of your masculine energy. Create sense of stability within and trust in your ability to hold on to your values no matter what the circumstances. Opening your mind is key to your path towards growth and awakening. Again, we go back to the same topic. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. When we trust ourselves, I know who I am. Whatever situations I'm going to be at, I'm going to be able to put in boundaries, to say no to people that I disagree with, to walk away from people that don't serve me. No one can really control me. When you're truly free, when you're truly sovereign, it's not love that blocks you. It's what masculines for a very long time, you don't understand that. It's not love that blocks you. It's lack of your own trust towards yourself. It's lack of your own self-love. It's lack of your commitment to self. Stubbornness, it's a complicated shadow, but it ain't gonna fly with someone who is it's a shadow. And again, remember what I said to you, shadows are tricksters. They always convince us that they're a good thing. So for most part, people who are stubborn, they just think that they have strong characters and they have strong opinions and they're smart and that's okay, but it's not it. Strong character has nothing to do with stubbornness, okay? Let me do two more. I am the problem. Let's clarify this one. I am the problem. Healing through separation. Healing through separation, number 15. Maybe you've been doing this. Maybe if you watch me, you've heard me talk about this technique. I love this technique. And I mentioned a little bit about this when you say like, shut up to your mind. But healing through separation is a really beautiful technique. So whatever is it that you want to heal, right? We have fear of commitment, fear that people will control you, right? Lack of trust within yourself, the Casanova behavior, stubbornness, right? Separate that shadow. I always say this. You would not believe how many parts of my psyche have been separated from me and been given separate names. Okay, it's like we're a whole big family. This is how we heal around here. So let's say you have this stubbornness, right? This unwillingness to accept opinion of another because it comes from fear of that they're going to control you, they're going to manipulate you, they're going to sway you into doing something that you don't want to do, right? It actually comes from weakness of the character, not from strength, right? So separate that from your psyche. Visualize this as a whole persona, right? Give it name. And this is how you also develop that mindfulness. Whenever it comes through, whenever you have this need, you already know that you're stubborn, right? You've given it name, right? You've called it Frank, okay? Stubborn Frank. You've given it name. So the moment it comes in you and you want to be stubborn, you want to be like reluctant to just like go with the flow and with other people and open your mind, now you know it's not you. It's not part of your soul. It's part of your armor that you separated. So just like, hold on, Frank. Okay? No, you're not welcome. We don't need to do this. I know who I am. I know my values. I know my truth. I trust my opinions. You don't need to be all protective and stubborn. Open your heart to get us through this situation. I want to do one more. Maybe it's something that you should be using. Eliminate distraction. That's really beautiful as well. Eliminate distractions. What kind of love do you desire? This talks about, I don't want to read through the whole thing, but this talks about really setting your eyes on a target, right? Really knowing what you want and eliminate everything. And it's funny, I talk about this a little bit in yesterday's Masculine Monday. We pulled an oracle for the masculines, and we've talked about this, that it's also a beautiful technique that helps us to get rid of everything that is not serving. Think about your feminine. Think about your ideal life. Just imagine, just like I said to you, connect to her, right? You're together, you wake up in the morning. What is it that you do, right? You go and you cook breakfast for her, you cook breakfast together, you have a day off. So what are you going to do? You're going to go to the beach, or you're going to, whatever flows your boat, whatever you like, however you connect. Just imagine this perfect life. How do you live? Where do you live? How do you connect, right? And then ask yourself, what is still in my life that doesn't really fall into that picture? It doesn't really fall into that beautiful dream that I have and I want to achieve. And if there are things that don't fit into it, just eliminate them. They hold us back. They hold us back. And it's also a common mistake of people when they say like, oh, but you know, right now I don't have any other friends, so I'm going to stick to my karmic friends because I don't want to be alone. Universe will not send you new friends for as long as you stick to your karmics, because universe understands vibration. So if you're accepting something, universe thinks, okay, you're okay with that. The moment you start, no, I'm not good with this, I'm not good with that, I'm not going to do this is not my vibration, right? I'd rather be on my own than accept anything that is not in line with what I want. Then the universe is like, aha, now he understands. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's bring in everything that he now knows and understands he deserves. I'm really liking this. It's difficult. It would be difficult for you right now. A very deep reflection, going back to the things that you've done. You may be close to that moment of really, shit, what have I done, right? with that Casanova, that fear of commitment, but you would be very reflective. We have, healing for separation, I'm the problem, mindfulness, what kind of love. It's like you're realizing that you desire more, that you want more, that you deserve more. They're just things that you need to, release and remove from your life. And it's time to inner union. Maybe it's coming. Maybe you're working towards that. All right. I want to see where you are emotionally. Where is your spirit? Where is your emotion? I feel like this collective, you're very disconnected from your emotions. So maybe you even struggle to truly understand where you are. And emotions are, I always say this, they are our compass to really understand what we need in life, what we want in life, what we need to heal. So let's just ask where you are emotionally. All right. Where are you emotionally? Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. But specifically, in this deck, look what it says. Hope and reflection. And I feel these are really those key emotions. It's like you are really in a strong reflection right now on yourself, on your life, in the past, what's happened in your life from childhood with your feminine. But you would be hopeful. You would be hopeful. I'm hearing as well, they're showing me this Casanova card. I'm hearing as well that you've maybe realized how much you have been having this bit of a, I don't want to trigger you, but this energy of, bit of like creating deception. It's like you yourself, you've been convincing yourself that you've been very truthful and following this strong of character and stubbornness, right? But now you're realizing that I'm also hearing avoidance. Running away from things, running away from truth. A lot of reflection I'm hearing with this card. Really a lot of reflections on how you've been living life, strategizing life instead of living life. But there's hope, which is nice. Let's do a few more. All right, we have Knight of Wands, we have Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. Again, this 7, and we have 777, which is beautiful. So maybe again 7th of the 7th, maybe month of July. I feel this month would be important. So maybe it's a month that again you last seen your feminine, or you met your feminine. It's a collective. It may differ. Maybe you're seeing a lot of 7. 7 is a number of learning, awakening, spirituality, expanding your knowledge, expanding your being. So this is what I'm what I'm hearing in your emotions and in your energy right now. You would really want to reach out to your feminine. I'm hearing this collective. It's like it would be on your mind 24/7. Maybe you're hovering over your phone, maybe you're repeating messages in your head, maybe you're constantly, I'm also hearing it can be a detail for some of you that maybe you're dreaming of her a lot. What am I gonna say? How it's gonna look like? It's like you wanna, again, my song, my favorite 20 song, I wanna run to you, but if I come to you, I feel like you do want to run to her, but you would be confused, right? And I feel this confusion